The knife sliced through the air like a verdict, embedding itself in the oak dining table with a thud that silenced the room. Elena Vargas's hand trembled as she stared at the carving knife her uncle had hurled in rage, its blade glinting under the chandelier's unforgiving light. In that frozen heartbeat, she realized the money she'd poured into this family, like blood from her veins, had bought her nothing but a noose of expectations, tightening now around the woman she loved more than her own survival. Elena had always been the fixer, the golden child who turned scraps into fortunes. Born in the cramped kitchens of East Los Angeles, where her immigrant parents juggled 3 jobs to keep the lights on, she'd clawed her way to a corner office in downtown San Francisco by 28. Wall Street whispers called her the Latina Lightning, a moniker that masked the endless nights she'd traded for sleep, wiring funds back home to bail out Tio Roberto's failing auto shop or Prima Sofia's mounting medical bills. Her family didn't just lean on her. They built their lives on the shaky scaffold of her success, dubbing her El Banco de la Familia, the family's bank, in half-joking toasts at every holiday gathering. It was a title worn with pride at first, a badge of her unyielding loyalty. But pride erodes when loyalty demands you bare your heart. Tonight, in the sprawling McMansion her remittances had helped finance on the outskirts of Sacramento, that erosion had cracked wide open. The annual Vargas family reunion was in full, chaotic swing, aunts gossiping over tamales steaming on platters, cousins chasing kids through the manicured lawn, uncles nursing beers and old grudges. Elena had arrived fashionably late, her sleek black Audi purring to a stop in the driveway, but this time, she wasn't alone. Clutched in her right hand was Riley's left, soft, calloused from weekend hikes in the Marin headlands, fingers laced with a quiet strength that had anchored Elena through boardroom battles and midnight doubts. Riley Donovan, with her freckled cheeks and laugh like wind chimes in a summer storm, had been Elena's secret symphony for 2 years. They'd met at a tech conference in Austin, where Riley, a freelance environmental illustrator, had sketched Elena's keynote speech on a napkin, capturing not just the words on sustainability investments, but the fire in her eyes that no one else saw. What started as stolen glances over craft cocktails bloomed into late-night confessions in hotel sheets, then weekend escapes to Big Sur, where the ocean's roar drowned out the world. Riley was the first person who'd ever asked Elena not what she could give, but who she wanted to be when the deals were done, and the family calls went silent. In her arms, Elena wasn't the bank. She was alive, flawed, desired. But secrets have a shelf life, and Elena's had expired under the weight of her mother's pleading voicemail that morning. Mija, Tio needs the shop again. 20 grand, poor favor. And come alone tonight. Family only. The alone had been the splinter that finally pierced the dam. Elena had hung up, turned to Riley in their sun-dappled kitchen, and whispered, "No more hiding. We're going, hand in hand." Riley's eyes had widened, then softened with that unwavering trust, pulling Elena into a kiss that tasted of coffee and courage. Now, as the room's chatter died into a graveyard hush, Elena's uncle Roberto loomed at the head of the table, his face purpled with fury, the knife's handles still vibrating from the impact. "Que carajo es esto, Elena?" he bellowed, eyes darting from her to Riley like they were intruders in his domain. "You bring this woman, here, to our table, after everything we've given me?" Elena cut in, her voice a whip crack that echoed off the vaulted ceilings. She stepped forward, Riley's hand a lifeline in hers, refusing to let go even as her pulse thundered. The first 3 sentences of this reckoning hung in the air like smoke from a fresh wound. Around them, the family fractured, her mother, Rosa, clutching a rosary with white-knuckled fingers, Father Miguel averting his eyes to the plate of arroz con pollo, Sophia, the cousin she'd sponsored through nursing school, gaping like she'd seen a ghost. Riley squeezed her hand, a silent, "I'm here," and Elena drew strength from it, her chest swelling with the injustice she'd swallowed for decades. "No, Tio. After everything I've given, the loans you never repaid, the houses you live in because I crunched numbers until my eyes bled. I thought love was currency here, my love for all of you. But it's time you learned it's not one-sided. Roberto's laugh was a bark, devoid of humor, as he yanked the knife free and slammed it onto a cutting board, chopping at an invisible enemy. Love. This is betrayal. What will the neighbors say? The church? You've shamed us, Elena. All that money, and you couldn't buy some decency? The words landed like punches, each one bruising the girl inside her who'd once dreamed of white picket fences and family barbecues without the ledger. But Elena wasn't that girl anymore. She was 34, battle-hardened, with a heart Riley had taught her to fight for. Decency? She echoed, her accent thickening with emotion. The San Fernando Valley lilt her mother despaired over. Decency is lying to the woman who holds me when I cry over your endless crises. Decency is pretending I'm whole while you drain me dry. Riley isn't the shame, she's the truth you've all ignored. Rosa rose then, her apron dusted with flour from the empanadas, tears carving tracks down her weathered cheeks. Elena mía. Por Dios. Think of your future. Marriage, niños. My future is her, Elena said, turning to Riley with eyes that burned. Riley met her gaze, steady as the redwoods they'd picnicked under, her thumb tracing circles on Elena's knuckles. In that moment, the room's hostility faded to static. There was only them, two women who'd chosen each other over empires. But Roberto wasn't done. He jabbed a finger at Riley, who stood tall despite the scrutiny, her sundress fluttering in the AC's chill. And you? Who are you to waltz in here? Some gringa artist? What do you bring to this table besides scandal? Riley's voice, when it came, was calm as a mountain stream, laced with the soft drawl of her Georgia roots she'd never quite shaken. I bring Elena, the real one. Not your ATM, but the woman who laughs at bad puns and dances barefoot in the rain. If that's not enough for you, then maybe you never deserved her. Gasps rippled through the ants, a murmur rising like steam from the pots. Sophia stepped forward, her scrubs still on from a long shift, eyes flicking between them. Elena, is this real? For how long? Long enough to know it's forever, Elena replied, her free arm slipping around Riley's waist, pulling her close. The scent of Riley's lavender shampoo mingled with the kitchen's spices, grounding her. And if you can't handle it, then this bank's close. The ultimatum hung heavy, a guillotine blade poised above the fragile threads of blood ties. Roberto slumped into his chair, defeated for the moment, muttering curses into his beer. Rosa crossed herself, whispering prayers that sounded more like pleas. But Elena felt the shift, a crack in the facade, sunlight piercing through. For the first time, the family's greed stared back at her, unmasked, and in Riley's embrace, she glimpsed a horizon free of debt. As the evening unraveled into awkward silences and forced small talk, Elena and Riley slipped onto the porch, the summer night wrapping around them like a blanket. Fireflies danced in the yard, mirroring the sparks in Riley's eyes as she leaned in. You were magnificent, she murmured, lips brushing Elena's temple. Elena exhaled, the tension uncoiling like a spring. I was terrified, but with you, I feel unbreakable. Their kiss was slow, deepening under the stars, a promise etched in the quiet. Inside, the family stewed, but out here, love wasn't a transaction. It was revolution. Yet revolutions have casualties. By dawn, Elena's phone buzzed with texts, Sophia begging for clarity, Rosa invoking saints, Roberto threatening to disown her. The bank's vault was sealed, but the fallout was just beginning, a storm of reckonings that would test not just their bond, but the very soul of what family meant. The Sacramento sun rose merciless, baking the tension into the Vargas home like overcooked tortillas. Elena stirred in the guest room bed, her old twin from high school days, now comically small for two, Riley's arm draped possessively over her waist. For a stolen hour, they lingered in that cocoon of sheets, whispers trading places with lazy kisses, the world outside a distant rumble. But reality intruded with the creak of floorboards and Rosa's hesitant knock.
Mia, desayuno is ready.
Her mother's voice was muffled, laced with the exhaustion of a night spent in vigil. Elena glanced at Riley, who mouthed go, with a wink that said she'd handle the coffee. Slipping into jeans and a faded UC Berkeley tee, Elena padded downstairs, the house humming with unspoken accusations. The kitchen was a battlefield of half-eaten plates, the air thick with the scent of café con leche and regret. Rosa stood at the stove, flipping eggs with mechanical precision, her back a wall of floral house dress. Elena, she started without turning, last night. It was the wine talking. Your Tio, he didn't mean. He meant every word, Mama. Elena leaned against the counter, arms crossed like armor. And so did I. Rosa pivoted, spatula in hand like a scepter, eyes red-rimmed but fierce. You think I don't see? How you send money every month, like clockwork. For the roof that leaked last winter, for Abuela's medicines. You're a rock, Elena.
But this,
Riley. She's taking you from us. The words twisted like a knife in Elena's gut, echoing the fears she'd buried deep. Taking her? Or freeing her? Mama, I've been giving pieces of myself since I was 18. Internships instead of quinceanera, overtime instead of dates. Riley isn't taking. She's giving me back to me. A tear escaped Rosa's eye, sizzling on the hot pan. And what about tradition? The church says, love your neighbor. Doesn't specify who you hold at night. Elena's voice softened, bridging the chasm. She stepped closer, touching her mother's arm, the same arm that had bandaged her childhood scrapes. I love you, Mama. All of you. But I love her more than silence. Rosa deflated, setting the spatula down with a clatter.
ay, Dios.
What will people say at Mass? At the Mercado? Let them talk. I've silenced myself long enough. The moment shattered as Roberto lumbered in, nursing a hangover and a grudge, his work boots tracking mud. Morning, Bonko, he grunted, avoiding her eyes as he poured coffee black as his mood. It's Elena, she corrected, chin lifting. And good morning to you too. He snorted, settling at the table with a thud. Fancy lawyer now, eh? Suing your own blood. Riley chose that instant to appear, tray in hand with fresh mugs and a plate of her infamous blueberry scones, flaky, buttery confections that had won Elena's heart on their third date. Thought we could use some sweetness, she said lightly, her Georgia lilt cutting the frost. She set a scone before Roberto, meeting his scowl with a smile that dared him to bite. He eyed it suspiciously, then took a grudging nibble. His eyebrows shot up. Not bad, gringa. Riley, she supplied, sliding into the seat beside Elena, their knees brushing under the table, a subtle anchor. Roberto chewed thoughtfully, the silence stretching. Finally, look, Elena. The shop. It's underwater again. That 20 grand.
No.
The word was steel, unyielding. Not until you look me in the eye and see me, not the checkbook. His fork paused midair, jaw working. Rosa hovered, wringing her hands, but for once, she held her tongue. The kitchen held its breath, the scone crumbling like old defenses. Fine, Roberto muttered, pushing his plate away. But don't come crying when the family's broke. We won't, Riley interjected gently, her hand finding Elena's on the table, bold, unapologetic. Because we'll build our own. Roberto's gaze flicked to their joined hands, something flickering in his eyes. Resentment? Regret? He rose abruptly, muttering about the garage, leaving the women in a wake of unspoken victories. By mid-morning, the house emptied as relatives trickled out, casting sidelong glances at the porch where Elena and Riley swayed on the old swing. Sophia lingered, pulling Elena aside by the rose bushes her grandmother had planted decades ago. "'Cause," Sophia whispered, voice urgent. "I get it. More than you know." She hesitated then. Remember that nursing conference in Seattle? The one you paid for? Elena nodded, the memory surfacing, Sophia's wide-eyed awe at the keynotes, the late-night calls gushing about dreams. There was this doctor, Jamie. We talked for hours. It scared me, how easy it felt. Sophia's cheeks flushed. I pushed it away. For Papa, for the family. But seeing you last night, it woke something. Elena's heart swelled, a bridge forming where walls had stood. Then don't push. Life's too short for what-ifs. Sophia hugged her fiercely, whispering, You're brave. And that 20 for the shop? Tell Tio to figure it out. We all should. As Sophia drove off, Elena rejoined Riley, who was sketching the garden on her tablet, roses twisting like lovers' limbs. What now? Riley asked, capping her stylus.
Now?
We go home. To our home. Elena's voice caught, the word, our revelation. But home was San Francisco, a city of fog-shrouded hills and hidden alleys, where their loft overlooked the bay, like a promise. The drive north was a blur of golden fields and Riley's playlist, Joni Mitchell crooning about circles and blue California skies. They talked in loops, the what-ifs of coming out sooner, the dreams deferred for duty. Riley shared stories of her own fractured family, an alcoholic father in Atlanta, a mother who'd chosen denial over daughters, reminding Elena that scars don't define, but healing does. By twilight, as the Bay Bridge lights twinkled like fallen stars, Elena's phone lit up again. Not a plea, but a video from Sophia, her at a coffee shop, Jamie's number scrawled on a napkin, mouthing, Thanks, cuz. Laughter bubbled up, shared and seismic. But the real test loomed. Elena's firm had a gala that weekend, a black tie affair where deals were sealed in champagne flutes, and her promotion to partner hung in the balance. Her mentor, Harlan, a silver-haired shark with a penchant for traditional values, had hinted at personal conduct in recent reviews. Bringing Riley wasn't just a statement. It was a gamble on glass ceilings and whispered corridors. That night, in their loft's king bed, Elena traced Riley's collarbone by lamplight. What if they freeze me out? The firm, the clients. Riley propped on an elbow, hair tousled like autumn leaves. Then we pivot. You've built empires from nothing. We'll build this, us, into something unbreakable. Their lovemaking was fierce, a tempest of limbs and sighs, reclaiming what judgment had tried to steal. Afterward, curled together, Elena whispered fears into Riley's hair, and Riley answered with stories of wildflowers pushing through concrete, proof that love, like nature, defies containment. Friday dawned crisp, the city humming with possibility. Elena suited up in Armani silk, Riley in an emerald gown that hugged her curves like a second skin. At the gala, in the gilded halls of the Fairmont, heads turned, not just for Elena's rising star, but for the woman on her arm, radiant and real. Harlan approached first, scotch in hand, brow furrowed. Vargas, who's this vision? Riley Donovan, Elena said, chin high, my partner. In every sense. A beat of silence, then Harlan's chuckle, gruff, genuine. About time you brought some life to these stiff affairs. Welcome, Riley. The night unfolded in waves, toasts that clinked like approvals, dances where Riley's hand and hers silenced doubters. But midway, Elena's phone vibrated, a text from Rosa. Mija, we're trying. Come for Sunday dinner? Bring her. Tears pricked, joy and ache entwining. Riley caught her eye across the ballroom, mouthing, You okay? More than, Elena mouthed back. Yet shadows lingered. As they slipped into the night, a junior associate cornered Elena in the lobby. Bold move, Vargas. But partners? Family men, you know. The barb stung, but Elena smiled, steel-edged. Times change. Or we make them. Driving home through fog-veiled streets, Riley's head on her shoulder, Elena felt the weight lift. Love wasn't a ledger, it was the ink that rewrote the rules. Sunday dinner approached like a truce flag in no man's land. Elena gripped the wheel of her Audi tighter than necessary. The highway from San Francisco to Sacramento, a ribbon of asphalt etched with memories, of frantic drives to bury siblings' tuition, of exhausted returns with empty tanks and fuller regrets. Beside her, Riley hummed along to Nina Simone, her fingers drumming a rhythm on Elena's thigh that said, "We've got this." "You nervous?" Riley asked as the skyline gave way to suburbs. Elena exhaled, the truth slipping free. Petrified. What if it's a setup? Tio guilting me back into the fold. Then we walk. Together. Riley's eyes held the ocean's depth, pulling Elena from the undertow. The Vargas house looked softer in daylight, roses blooming defiant against the stucco. Rosa met them at the door, apron crisp, smile tentative as a first step. "Bienvenidas," she said, pulling Elena into a hug that smelled of cilantro and home. To Riley, "You like mole? I made extra." Riley's grin disarmed. "Love it. My grand's recipe was killer, but yours smells like heaven." Inside, the table groaned under platters, mole poblano glistening dark and rich, tamales steaming in corn husks, flan wobbling like unspoken apologies. Roberto sat at the head, nursing a soda instead of beer. A concession, perhaps. Sophia was there, Jamie beside her, the two women exchanging shy glances that mirrored Elena's own early days. No one mentioned the knife. Instead, talk flowed in fits. Abuela's old stories of crossing the border, Sophia's latest shift saving a preemie, Jamie's quiet tales of rural Georgia clinics. Roberto grunted responses, but his eyes lingered on Elena and Riley's casual touches, the brush of fingers over water glasses, the shared laugh at a cousin's joke. Mid-meal, he cleared his throat, the room hushing like a courtroom. "Elena, about the shop." He fiddled with his napkin, voice gruff. "I got a loan from the bank. Real one, papers and all. No more."
Leaning.
Elena's fork paused, surprise blooming warm.
Tio.
He waved it off, cheeks ruddy. "Your girl, Riley, those scones. Got me thinking. Family ain't about handouts.
It's
showing up." His gaze flicked to their hands, linked on the tablecloth. "Even when it's hard." Riley squeezed Elena's fingers, her smile radiant. "That's all we want. To show up." Rosa beamed, tears glistening as she passed the flan. "To new beginnings," she toasted, glasses clinking like healing bones. The afternoons stretched lazy. Kids shrieking in the yard, uncles firing up the grill for impromptu carne asada. Elena and Riley wandered the garden, Riley sketching the bougainvillea while Elena plucked a rose, tucking it behind her ear.
"See?"
They came around. "Not all," Elena murmured, glancing at Roberto's distant figure by the fence. "But enough." Monday brought the office grind, Elena's heels clicking through marble lobbies like declarations. Harlan summoned her to his office, the city sprawling below like a chessboard she'd mastered. "Vargas," he said, sliding a folder across the desk. "Partnership papers, inked and waiting. Heard about your +1. Stirred the pot, but in a good way. Shows spine." Elena's breath caught, victory sweet as Riley's kisses. "Thank you, sir. Call me Harlan. And bring her to the retreat. Family's welcome." The word family echoed, redefining itself. That evening, Elena burst into the loft, scooping Riley into a spin that ended in laughter and spilled takeout. "Partner," she crowed, waving the papers. Riley's whoop filled the space, their celebration a whirlwind of wine and wonder, bodies entwining on the rug, toasting to futures unwritten. But harmony's fragile. 2 weeks later, a client dinner in New York tested the waters. Elena's biggest account, a conservative energy firm run by Texan tycoons, demanded discretion. "Keep it professional, Vargas," her assistant warned. Riley, ever supportive, stayed home, sending texts laced with emojis and encouragement. The dinner dragged in a steakhouse haze of cigars and crude jokes. Midway, the CEO, a barrel-chested man named Caldwell, leaned in. "Heard you're hitched now. To a gal, huh? That true?" Elena's pulse spiked, fork steady.
Yes.
"Riley's my world." Caldwell's laugh boomed, but his eyes narrowed. "Worlds change deals, sweetheart. Keep it separate." The barb lingered like smoke, souring the fillet. Back in her hotel, Elena video called Riley, the screen a lifeline across time zones. "They'll drop me," she confessed, voice cracking. Riley's face filled the frame, fierce. "Then they weren't worth keeping. You're more than their tolerance." Sleep evaded, Elena pacing the suite, ghosts of rejection whispering. By dawn, resolve hardened. She emailed Caldwell. "Appreciate the opportunity, but my integrity isn't negotiable. Best, Elena." The fallout hit Tuesday. Account pulled. Harlan's call a mix of sympathy and strategy. "Rough, kid. But we'll rebound. You've got fire." Rebound they did. New clients flocking to her rep as the unapologetic force. Sophia texted updates. Her and Jamie's first date. A picnic under the Golden Gate. Rosa sent recipes, laced with "Tell Riley hi." One crisp October evening, Elena and Riley hiked Angel Island, the bay a sapphire mirror below. At the summit, wind whipping their scarves, Elena dropped to one knee, not with a ring, but a sketch Riley had drawn years ago. Them, hand in hand, against a city skyline. "Marry me?" Elena asked, voice raw. "Not for show. For us." Riley's tears fell like rain, pulling her up into a kiss that sealed eternities.
Yes.
1,000 times. Word spread. Family dinner turned engagement party, Roberto toasting gruffly with "to the Vargases and Donovans." Sophia officiated plans, Rosa sewing veils from old lace. But love's trials aren't linear. Winter brought Rosa's diagnosis: breast cancer, stage 2, caught early but fierce. Elena's world tilted, the bank reopening not out of guilt, but grace, coordinating treatments, flying in specialists. Riley was there, holding Rosa's hand through chemo fog, sketching whimsical cards to lift spirits. In the hospital's sterile quiet, Rosa gripped Elena's fingers. "You were right, Mija. Love isn't given, it's lived." Elena nodded, throat tight. "We're in this together. All of us." Spring bloomed with remission parties and wedding vows exchanged under a laurel arch in Golden Gate Park. Riley in white lace, Elena in tailored emerald, families mingled, Vargases and Donovans, blood and chosen weaving new tapestries. As they danced under string lights, Elena whispered, "From bank to heart. Worth every penny." Riley's laugh was music. And every risk. The wedding's afterglow lingered like champagne bubbles, but life, that relentless editor, soon scripted new chapters. Elena's firm thrived, her partnership a beacon for queer talent trickling in, interns with stories mirroring her own, hungry for space to shine. Riley's illustrations graced covers of eco magazines, her style a blend of Vargas vibrancy and Donovan whimsy. Their loft expanded into a home, bookshelves groaning with bilingual tomes, a studio corner where Riley painted murals of resilient roots. Yet, beneath the harmony, ripples stirred. Roberto's shop stabilized, but pride chafed at borrowed strength. One sweltering July afternoon, he showed up unannounced at their door, toolbox in hand, sweat beading on his brow. "Need to fix that leaky faucet," he grumbled, avoiding Riley's welcoming smile. Elena raised an eyebrow, leading him to the kitchen. "Since when are you a plumber, Tio?" "Since I can't pay you back in cash." He knelt by the sink, wrench turning with unnecessary force. "Look, Elena. That night. The knife. I was scared."
For you.
For us. She slid onto a stool, watching his hands, calloused from engines, now mending pipes. "Scared of what?" "Losing the money." He paused, meeting her eyes in the cabinet's reflection. Losing you, the family's glue, but seeing you happy, with her. A nod toward the living room, where Riley sketched at the window. Makes me think I was the one cracking. Elena's chest tightened, forgiveness a quiet tide. You're still family, Tio. Glue works both ways. He grunted, rising with a flourish, the drip silenced. Bring her to the shop sometime. Teach these grease monkeys a thing or two about real engines. His grin was sheepish, a bridge mended in copper twists. Riley, overhearing, chimed in with, Deal. If you try my Grand's pecan pie. Roberto's laugh rumbled, the first genuine one in years. As he left, Elena hugged him fierce, the scent of motor oil a reminder. Redemption smells like effort. Fall painted the bay in russets and golds, mirroring the warmth in Rose's cheeks post-remission. She and Miguel visited for a weekend, filling the loft with laughter and lessons. Rosa teaching Riley to roll perfect tortillas, Miguel regaling with tales of his youth in Jalisco. Over pozole steaming on the balcony, Rosa pulled Elena aside. Mija, I was wrong. About hiding. About fearing. Elena hugged her, tears salting the broth. You taught me strength, Mama. Now we live it. Sophia and Jamie's relationship blossomed parallel, a double helix of support. They moved in together in Oakland, Jamie's clinic partnering with Sophia's hospital for community health drives. At a joint baby shower, for Sophia's surprise adoption plans, Elena and Riley toiled over gender-neutral decor, balloons bobbing like dreams deferred no more. But joy's shadow is doubt. Late one night, Elena woke to Riley's tossing, moonlight carving worry lines on her face. Talk to me, Elena murmured, drawing her close. Riley's voice was small. Your world, it's so big. The firm, the family. What if I fade? The artist tagging along. Elena cupped her face, thumbs tracing freckles like constellations. You lit the spark. Without you, it's just smoke. You're my gravity. Their reconnection was tender, bodies mapping familiar territories, reaffirming in whispers and warmth. Dawn found them tangled, Riley sketching Elena's sleeping form. Title: My Anchor. Winter holidays tested the new normal. The Vargas Donovan fusion feast crammed the loft. Tamales alongside collard greens, piñata swings with pecan pie chasers. Roberto arrived with a gift, a custom wrench set engraved for the real fixers, handing it to both women with a gruff, "Don't let me catch you slacking." Laughter cascaded, barriers crumbling like overbaked crusts. Even Miguel, ever the quiet patriarch, pulled Riley into a side hug. You make her glow. That's family. New Year's Eve, they watched fireworks from the rooftop, Elena's head on Riley's shoulder. Resolutions? Riley asked, breath fogging the chill. To keep choosing us, Elena said. Every day. Spring unfurled with professional whirlwinds. Elena spearheaded a pro bono case for LGBTQ+ youth housing, her testimony a firebrand blend of law and lived truth. Media swarmed. Interviews where she name-dropped Riley as her muse, photos of them arm in arm at galas. The family's bank evolved into an advocate, funds funneled to scholarships for queer Latinas. Riley's solo exhibit, Roots and Rebels, packed the gallery. Canvases of intertwined hands against urban sprawls, one centerpiece. Elena's profile etched in bay waves, titled Ledger of the Heart. Roberto bought the first print, hanging it proudly in the shop's office. Yet, cracks in the facade appeared subtly. A cousin's wedding invitation arrived, traditional, church-bound, with a whispered PS from the bride. No +1s for, you know. Elena's hurt festered, shared over gelato with Riley. It's progress, not perfection. Riley soothed, but the sting lingered. Summer solstice brought a pilgrimage. Elena and Riley road-tripped to Big Sur, retracing steps of their early love. Campfire crackled under stars, stories spilling like wine. Fears voiced, futures sketched in sand. If we can weather family storms, Elena said, toasting with Esmores, we can take on the world. Riley's eyes sparkled. We already are. Back home, Sophia's adoption finalized. A bouncing boy named Mateo, his giggles a symphony at playdates. Elena and Riley babysat, tiny hands tugging at skirts, hearts swelling with what-ifs, turned possibilities. Someday? Riley ventured, rocking Mateo. Someday, Elena echoed, the word a seed planted deep. Autumn's harvest moon witnessed a family retreat, cabins in Yosemite, rented on Elena's dime but planned by all. Hikes revealed vulnerabilities, Roberto confessing bankruptcy fears, Rosa sharing border-crossing terrors, Sophia admitting imposter syndrome. Around the fire pit, stories wove a new narrative, not of debts, but dreams. One night, Harlan called, retiring, nominating Elena for his seat. You've rewritten the rules, Vargas. Own it. The promotion party was intimate. Rooftop, fairy lights, Riley's playlist. Toasts flowed, Roberto's to queens, not banks, laughter echoing into the bay. As leaves fell, Elena proposed expanding family, IVF consultations, donor searches. Riley's yes was tear-streaked, their clinic visits a gauntlet of hopes and heartaches. Rosa joined one, holding hands through ultrasounds, whispering, grandbabies, mi amor. Winter's Eve, snow dusting the city rare as miracles, Elena felt the stirrings, a positive test, faint but fierce. Riley's scream of joy shattered the quiet, bodies collapsing in ecstatic heaps. The year closed with ultrasounds and ultrasounds, family orbiting closer. From knife's edge to nursery dreams, love had tallied its true worth, not in dollars, but in the unbreakable chain of chosen hearts. The positive test was a whisper at first, then a roar, echoing through doctors' offices and family group chats, turning skeptics to cheerleaders overnight. Elena's pregnancy unfolded like a secret unfurling petals. Morning sickness battled with ginger tea from Rosa, cravings for Riley's experimental fusion tacos, chorizo with peach salsa, a hit or miss that bonded them in hilarity. At 16 weeks, the ultrasound revealed a girl, her tiny heartbeat a drumbeat of destiny. They named her Luna, Moonchild, for the light she'd chase shadows away. The firm adjusted, Elena's maternity leave a strategic pause, Harlan's successor a ally who'd attended the wedding. Colleagues showered onesies and advice, the office evolving into a haven where partner meant more than title. Roberto, ever the fixer, built a crib from shop scraps, sanding it smooth as apologies. For my Sabrina, he said, voice thick, handing it over with unwrapped tools as chaser gifts. Sophia and Jamie's home brimmed with Mateo's chaos, playdates a whirlwind of blocks and bilingual babble. Luna's impending arrival sparked deeper talks, co-parenting circles, queer family networks Elena championed pro bono. We're pioneers, Riley said one evening, belly round with their second attempt frozen for later, her hand on Elena's swell, blazing trails for her. Elena's response was a kiss, soft as the kicks fluttering inside. For all of us. Spring's renewal mirrored the nursery's assembly. Walls painted sage green, murals of wildflowers Riley coaxed to life, roots delving deep, blooms reaching wide. Rosa sewed quilts from family fabrics, bits of Elena's christening gown, Riley's grandmother's lace, stitching generations. Miguel, the stoic, surprised with lullabies learned on guitar, his fingers calloused but chords tender. But pregnancy's glow dimmed under doubt's clouds. Late one night, Elena bolted awake, sweat slick, nightmare replaying the knife's arc. Not at her, but Luna. What if they judge her? The family, the world, because of us. Riley drew her close, heartbeat steady. Then we shield her with stories. Of two women who chose love over fear. She's our proof. Therapy sessions followed. Elena unpacking the bank's legacy, how provision masked resentment, how vulnerability was the real currency. Riley joined, their sessions a forge for resilience, emerging stronger, scarred but shining. Summer swelled Elena to fullness, baby showers a multicultural marvel, piñatas stuffed with eco-toys, pecan pralines beside tres leches. Roberto emceed games, his jokes landing softer, eyes misty at the diaper-changing demo. "Never thought I'd root for girls like this," he admitted to Elena, clapping her back. Labor came fierce under a harvest moon, 20 hours of grit and grace in the birthing suite. Riley coached through contractions, Rosa praying in the hall, Sophia timing pushes like shifts. Luna emerged wailing, 9 pounds of fury and wonder, dark curls like Elena's, blue-flecked eyes from Riley, a cry that conquered rooms. The first hold was sacred, Elena cradling her daughter, Riley's tears anointing tiny fists. "Welcome me, Luz," Elena whispered, the weight a redemption. Hospital discharge was fanfare, family convoy, horns blaring joy. Homecoming blurred in feeds and first cries, sleep a luxury traded for snuggles. Roberto visited daily, bouncing Luna with surprising finesse, murmuring shop tales in Spanish. "Gonna teach you wrenches before words, eh?" Autumn's crisp air brought rhythm. Walks in the Presidio, Luna strapped to Riley's chest, Elena capturing photos, trio silhouettes against eucalyptus. The firm called Elena back part-time, her desk now adorned with Luna's footprints in clay. But expansion beckoned. With Luna napping, Riley thawed their second embryo. The clinic's yes a spark. Her pregnancy synced with Elena's return, dual bumps a spectacle at family dinners, Roberto dubbing them the dynamic duo, Sophia planning tandem nurseries. Challenges crested, Riley's sciatica, Elena's postpartum fog, teething tantrums sinking like storms. Date nights became survival, picnics in the park, stolen kisses over bottles. Yet, in the fray, love deepened, a wellspring for the girls. Winter holidays doubled delight. Luna's first Christmas, chubby hands batting ornaments, a second babe, soul, boy, due in spring. The tree groaned with multicultural baubles, carols in English and Spanish, Roberto's pecan pie tradition now. One eve, snow flurrying rare, Elena and Riley bundled the kids to the window, lights twinkling. From one knife to this nursery, Elena marveled, Luna giggling at Soul's kicks. Riley's arm around her. Love's the ultimate investment. Infinite returns. Spring birthed Soul amid cherry blossoms, his arrival a counterpoint to Luna's, calm, crowing like dawn. The family expanded, a constellation, Vargas grit, Donovan dreams, queer and unyielding. Years blurred. Luna's first steps toward Riley's easel, soul-wrenching toy cars with Roberto. Elena's book, Beyond the Bank, reclaiming family and love, top charts, TED Talk views soaring. Sophia's clinic thrived, Jamie's advocacy echoing Elena's. At Luna's 5th birthday, under the laurel where vows were spoken, families gathered, blood, chosen, mended. Roberto roasted marshmallows, voice booming toasts, to the women who fixed us all. Elena, watching Riley chase Soul through grass, Luna's hand in hers, felt the ledger close. No debts, only dividends of heart. Luna's laughter echoed through the Presidio like a siren's call, her 5-year-old legs pumping as she dashed after fireflies in the twilight meadow. Elena scooped her up mid-stride, twirling until dizziness claimed them both, Riley trailing with Soul on her hip, his 2-year-old grin gummy and triumphant. This was their Sabbath, weekly escapes from the city's pulse, where deals and deadlines dissolved into dandelion wishes. Back home, baths bubbled with stories. Elena's tales of boardroom dragons slain, Riley's of forests where trees whispered secrets. Bedtimes wove rituals, Spanish lullabies from Rosa, English rhymes from Riley's gran, tucking dreams into tiny ears. Elena's career crested, Senior partner by 39, her firm a beacon for diversity hires, pro bono caseloads championing immigrant rights. Late nights blurred into strategy sessions, but Riley's texts, "Miss your fire with Luna's crayon hearts," recalled her. One such night, Elena arrived to chaos, Soul's fever spiking, Riley pale at the ER wait. "Go," Riley urged, but Elena stayed, hand in hand through vitals and verdicts, viral, not vicious. Soul's recovery was swift, but the scare etched deeper bonds, Elena vowing balance. Roberto's evolution paralleled. Shop franchised, profits plowed into youth apprenticeships, kids like young Elena, tools in hands over handouts. He mentored Soul on weekends, tiny overalls dwarfing him, gruff voice softening. "Fix what's broke, me Joe." Inside, too. Sophia and Jamie adopted a girl, Isla. Her adoption a mirror to their journey. Court battles Elena litigated pro bono. Victory sweet as sisterhood. Playgroups turned tribes, kids tumbling in multilingual mayhem. Yet, milestones magnify aches. Luna's school open house brought a bully's barb. "Your moms are weird." Overheard in the hall. Elena's heart clenched, but Riley knelt to Luna's level. "Weird is wonderful." Like shooting stars. Home debriefs followed, Elena raging quietly. The world still sharp. Riley's embrace grounded. "Then we dull the edges." For them. Advocacy amplified. Elena keynote at Pride rallies, Riley's murals adorning community centers, hands linked across divides. Rosa, cancer a faded scar, volunteered at shelters, her rosary now a talisman for all loves. Summer's Zenith hosted a family reunion redux, not in Sacramento's mansion, but a rented Big Sur ranch, ocean crashing consent. Tents dotted cliffs, bonfires birthed confessions, Miguel sharing his own hidden pansexuality from youth, buried for survival, cousins outing crushes, Sophia facilitating circles. Roberto, by the fire, passed Elena a beer. "That knife. It cut me deepest. Sorry don't fix, but actions might." She clinked bottles. "They have. More than enough." Fall's equinox marked Elena's 40th. Surprise party in the loft. Balloons from Luna's breath. Cake Riley baked. Chocolate with chili kick. Toasts flowed. Harlan's video from retirement golf. "You rewrote the playbook. Roses tearful, me orgullo." Riley's gift was intimate, a leather-bound journal, pages filled with their story. Napkin sketch to nursery nights. "Our ledger," she whispered, "balanced in love." Winter whispered changes. Soul's preschool jitters, Luna's ballet dreams. Elena cut hours for carpools, her presence a presence. A client crisis clashed with recital night. Elena's choice clear, the deal delegated, success sweeter in applause. Spring's thaw birthed new ventures. Elena and Riley co-authoring Roots of Resilience, a guide for queer families, bestseller born of blood and ink. Book tours crisscrossed coasts, kids in tow, turning stages into storytime. One tour stop in Atlanta, Riley's roots, confronted ghosts. Her father's porch, weathered as regrets, met them with wary welcome. "Heard about the book," he drawled, eyes on the grandkids. "Proud in my way." Riley's nod was grace. "That start enough." Luna, sensing tides, slipped her hand into his. "Wanna see my drawing?" Bridges built in crayons. Summer solstice circled back to Yosemite, families fuller, Isla toddling, Soul hiking with Roberto's mini-pack. Around the fire, Elena watched flames dance, Riley beside, kids sprawled in sleeping bags. 10 years, Riley murmured, head on shoulder. "Feels like yesterday's spark." Elena kissed her temple. "And forever's promise." Autumn harvested graduations, Luna's kindergarten, Soul's potty triumph, parties blending cultures, laughter loud. Winter's hush brought Rose's 60th, cruised down the Danube, but anchored in SF with feasts. Her speech, rosary in hand. "Love crossed oceans for me." Now it crosses hearts. Elena's 40th gift to Riley, a studio annex, walls wide for worlds. Riley's return, a family portrait, oils alive, 5 souls, hands linked against bay horizons. As snow dusted again, Elena reflected, from hurled blade to heart's glow, the family's bank had bankrupted fear, depositing riches untold. Luna's whisper in the night, "Mommies, you're my heroes," sealed the account. Luna's kindergarten finger paints splashed the fridge like abstract revolutions, her 7-year-old imagination a torn Elena and Riley navigated with awe and adhesives. School runs wove into mornings, Elena's briefcase beside Riley's sketchpad, coffee shared over cartoons. Sol, for now, shadowed his sister, his questions a barrage. "Why 2 moms?" "Like superheroes." Answered with hugs. "Exactly." Team unbreakable. Elena's caseload balanced advocacy and ambition, her firm's queer affinity group of force, she chaired, panels on allyship, scholarships seeded from bonuses. Roberto guest spoke at one, toolbox metaphors for mending divides, wrenches turn both ways, tighten or loosen hate. Riley's gallery shows evolved, installations of family tapestries, threads of heritage woven with rainbows, interactive for kids to add knots. One piece, The Knife's Echo, a sculpture of blade turned plowshare, sold to a museum, proceeds to youth shelters. Sophia's quartet grew with Isla's 3rd birthday, her clinic a hub for trans health, Jamie spearheading, Elena litigating barriers. Family barbecues ballooned, backyards spilling with bilingual banter, Roberto grilling with Miguel, stories swapping like spices. Yet growth grooms grief. Rose's checkup revealed a shadow, recurrence, metastatic, the word a thief in the night. The family rallied, chemo schedules synced with carpools, Riley's soup soothing nausea, Luna's drawings taping walls, Abuela strong like tree. Elena's nights fractured, boardroom poise cracking in hospital halls. "I can't lose her," she confessed to Riley, Luna asleep between them. Riley's hold was anchor, then fight with her. Like always. Rose's battle was valiant, trials, treatments, triumphs small. Miguel's guitar serenades filled rooms, Roberto's shop donating a van for transport. Sophia coordinated care, Jamie's empathy a bomb. One lucid afternoon, Rosa gathered them in the garden, weakened but wise. "Mija, don't bank regrets. Live loud, for me, for Luna." Elena's vow, "We will, Mama. Promise." Spring's mercy granted remission, fragile as hope. Summer's heat healed, pool parties cooling fevers of fear. Luna's school play, her as a fierce explorer, drew cheers, Rosa front row, scarf chic. Fall's harvest birthed Elena's sabbatical. 6 months to write, family first. The manuscript poured, echoes of us, queer legacies, interviews with Roberto on redemption, Sophia on sisterhood. Winter's solstice lit candles for milestones, Sol's preschool nativity, sheep roll, ad-libbing chaos, Luna's piano recital fingers flying. Rosa's health held, her cruise postponed for more grandkid time. Miguel's quiet joy, fishing trips with Sol, baiting hooks with life lessons. A curve came unbidden. Harlan's old firm poached Elena for general counsel, 6 figures, DC move. The offer dangled like temptation, Riley's exhibit their assign. Debates dance late. Roots here, Elena argued, but branches everywhere. Riley's eyes searched. Adventure? With you, yes. The vote was unanimous. Kids thrilled for White House proximity, families vowing visits. Packing wove nostalgia. Luna's art archived, Sol's toys culled. Roberto's farewell wrench, engraved DC fixers. "Don't forget the grease," he gruffed, hug lingering. Sophia's tears. East Coast sisters forever. DC donned crisp, Capitol views from their row house. Luna's school buzzed diverse, Sol's daycare a drum circle. Elena's office overlooked monuments, cases, landmark, trans rights, immigrant visas. Riley's studio neighbored a co-op, murals gracing metro stops. Weekends wandered, cherry blossoms with kids, Rose's video calls beaming strength. One spring, Rose's shadow returned, final, fierce. The flight west was blur, family vigil a circle unbroken. Rose's last breath, hands in theirs, love. One. Graveside under oaks, Elena spoke. You banked our hearts, mama. Overflowing. Summer mourned into memory. Memorial garden planted. Rose's quilt wrapping Luna through nightmares. Fall's foliage framed resilience. Elena's book launch in SF, dedication to Rosa, eternal deposit. Winter healed and holidays hybrid, DC snowman videoed to Cali tamales. Roberto's visit, wrenching capital tours, souls, awe his reward. Luna's 8 spark dreams, I want to be lawyer artist like moms. Soul's echo, me too, with tools. Elena and Riley, Abed under quilt ghosts, laughed soft. Legacies live, Riley whispered. From Sacramento stabs to national stages, the arc bent toward light, love's compound interest, eternal. Soul's 5th birthday dawned with dinosaur roars and rainbow cakes, his party a Jurassic jamboree in the DC backyard. Kids in scales, Elena in referee stripes, Riley wielding face paint like a wand. Luna, 9 now, directed games with bossy flair, her pigtails a crown of authority. The move east had woven new webs, neighborhood potlucks blending Beltway brisket with Cali ceviche, school friends quizzing 2 moms.
Cool.
Elena's DC tenure was dynamo, arguing before SCOTUS shadows, her briefs beacons for equality. Late flights home met Riley's welcome, dinner steaming, kids' artwork forts. Balance teetered, but date nights anchored, jazz clubs where hands clasped under tables, whispers plotting escapes. Roberto's annual pilgrimage brought shop swag, mini wrenches for Soul, engine puzzles for Luna. East Coast airs too clean, he'd gripe, then melt under hugs. His second franchise bloomed in Oakland, mentored by ex-cons, redemption radii expanding. Sophia's family quartet hummed, Isla's kindergarten crush tales, Jamie's TED on rural queer care. Virtual anti-hours bridged miles, giggles glitching screens. Yet, voids echo. Rose's absence haunted holidays, her quilt a ghost at tables, Miguel's eyes distant over mole. One Christmas, he confessed over eggnog. She'd say dance more, worry less. Elena's toast, to her rhythm. Spring's renewal tested. Luna's school project unearthed family tree, branches blooming queer icons, her presentation fierce. My mom started ours. But adolescence's whisper stirred, a classmate's slur at recess, freak family. Luna's tears at pickup shattered Elena, Riley's arms a harbor. Hates loud, loves louder, she coached, school meeting Elena's law-leveraged, policy shifts, ally training. Summer's heatwave hosted Cali reunion, Big Sur Redux, tents taller for growing limbs. Bonfires birthed big talks, Roberto on grief skiers, Sophia on parenting pivots. Soul unearthed fossils, Luna sketched cliffs, Elena and Riley stole sunset walks, hands linked, horizons vast. Fall's foliage framed Elena's crossroads, SCOTUS clerkship offer, prestige pinnacle. Riley's DC mural commission synced, but Pole West tugged, kids Cali cousins, Miguel's solitude. Council convened, family votes via Zoom, Roberto's go high, but visit low. Choice crystallized, stay, roots deepening. Winter's hush healed hesitations, Soul's kindergarten jitters eased by Luna's handholding, Elena's clerkship declined for legacy building. Luna's 10th dawn decisive, braces gleaming, ballet advancing to point. Her recital, swans and tutus, drew Roberto's sniffles, Miguel's proud snaps. Soul's echo, soccer stars, goals netted with wrench-like kicks. Elena's book sequel Brood, Infinite Deposits, Parenting and Pride, Riley illustrating chapters alive. Tours tandem, kids cameo ing, fans gushing, inspiration incarnate. A scare shadowed, Riley's exhibit ladder slip, wrist fractured. Elena's vigil mirrored old yars, souls worry wide-eyed. Recovery rallied, Cass signed rainbow, Luna's bedside stories. Spring's bloom birthed balance, Elena's firm flexible, Riley's co-op collaborative. Neighborhood queer collective formed, picnics plotting progress. Summer solstice circled Yosemite virtually, then in flesh, DC to Cali convoy, canyons calling. Fire pit philosophies, Miguel on legacy's loom, Sophia on sister souls. Fall's equinox elevated, Luna's history fair win, queer heroes, moms first, trophy tall as pride. Winter's white blanketed wonder, first DC snow, forts felled by laughter, roses quilt cocooning all. Roberto's surprise, Cali shop tour video, apprentices chanting, Tia Elena. Soul's awe, Uncle Bob's factory? Laughter lingered. As years layered, Elena reflected in journals, from flung fury to fortified family, love's math defied deficits, surpluses of soul, boundless. Luna's twin queries deepened. Why'd they call you bank, Mom? Elena's tale, tender, because I gave. But you taught me receiving. Riley's ad, and loving, without limits. Soul's nod, like superheroes, forever. The ledger closed not in ink, but indelible light, hands held across lifetimes, the ultimate balance. Luna's 12th summer scorched with braces, free grins, and growth spurts, her bedroom a collage of advocacy posters, Ruth Bader Ginsburg beside Riley's murals, Elena's book spines stacked like fortresses. Soul, 7, matched her stride in mischief, his soccer cleats caked from fields where goals mirrored grit. DC's cherry blossoms had rooted deep, the row house a haven of hybrid holidays, Thanksgiving turkeys spiced with adobo, 4th of July fireworks chasing fireflies. Elena's docket danced with destiny. Landmark win for non-binary rights, her closing argument a symphony of statute and story. Love's not litmus, it's liberty. Headlines hailed the Vargas verdict, her face on CNN. Riley's proud text, my warrior. But victory veiled vulnerabilities. Late one board meeting, Elena's hand trembled, stress migraine, vision blurring. Riley's insistence, pause more. Checkup revealed perimenopause whisper, hormones haywire. 42 feels 42. Elena joked, but tears traced truths, mortality's mirror, Rosa's echo. Therapy tandem, unpacking bank burdens, birthing boundaries. Riley's canvas captured it, Elena mid-stride, ledger aflame, phoenix rising. Roberto's empire expanded, third shop in Reno, workforce half women, half vets, his toasted opening. To Elena, taught me profits in people. Sophia Sextet? Wait, no. Family swelled with Jamie's sister fostering teens, Isla's sleepovers a sorority. Virtual vacations bridged, zooms from beaches, kids swapping shells. Luna's lens sharpened, school debate club, arguing climate justice with Elena's eloquence, Riley's art. A project pierced, interviewing Roberto. Uncle, why the knife? His pause then. Fear, Mija. Yours now? Use it fuel. Soul's sensitivity surfaced, a classmate's taunt. No dad? Loser. His quiet to Elena. But I have 2 awesome moms. And Uncle Bob's cooler than dad's. Elena's heart swelled, school counselor looped, circles closing. Summer saga, cross-country road trip, Cali climax at Big Sur, cliffs climbed, campfires confessional. Miguel, graying graceful, shared Jalisco journals, youth loves unspoken, now voiced. Rosa freed me too. Fall's fervor, Luna's bat mitzvah, No. Quinceanera hybrid, quince point fusion. Dress emerald like Elena's wedding. Dance with both moms. Roberto's dollar dance dollars donated to shelters. Soul symphony start. Violin squeaks to swells. Recitals Roberto attends. Wrench in pocket for luck. Elena's encore. Adjunct professorship at Georgetown. Syllabus law and love. Queer jurisprudence. Students spilling stories like Elena's once. Riley's revelation. Children's book series. The Fixer Family. Adventures Anonymish. Knife to Nurture. Launches lunched with kids. Luna voicing soul soundtracking. Winter's Weave. Miguel's visit. Snowshoeing Shenandoah. Stories stoking fires. His gift. Rose's rosary. Rest-strung with rainbow beads. For all prayers. A rift rippled. Harlan's passing. Funeral in SF. Eulogy Elena's. He bent arcs with us. Tears for mentor. Toast to tolerances earned. Spring surge. Luna's leadership camp. Soul's science fair solar system. Gold stars galore. Summer solstice sacred. Yosemite full circle. Now with tweens torch-bearing. Luna leading hikes. Soul stargazing with Miguel. Fall's flourish. Elena's third book. Balances unbroken. Forward Riley's poetry. Winter's warmth. Family fusion feast. DC to Cali caravan. Tamales teleported. Laughs live. Roberto's retirement rumble. Shops to trust. Travels teased. Europe? With you fixers? Luna's launch. Middle school musical. Lead lesbian inventor. Irony applauded. Soul's spark. Robotics club. Wrench-wielding wizard. As autumn aged to elder, Elena journaled. Decades distilled. From solitary sums to symphony scores. Love's equation. Exponential embrace. One eve. Porch swing creaking. Riley's head on shoulder. Kids lights out. Legacy. Riley mused. Elena smiled.
Lived. Loved.
Ledger full. From hurled hurt to harmonious horizons, the family's fortune was found. Not in funds, but forever hands held.